When the story about the Negro Leagues, the records, all-time, single season, all of the accumulative records, and how a lot of them were going to morph and transition into the all-time records for Major League Baseball or baseball history, one of the first people I thought about was T.R. Sullivan, former beat writer, covered the Rangers, columnist, Fort Worth Star-Telegram, and a Hall of Fame writer himself. And he joins us with Paul Catalina, Craig Smoak, and David Smoak. TR, I know you've had a week where you've been moving your daughter and a lot of things going on. When you had a chance to kind of chew up what they were doing and digest the changes, what was your reaction as a traditional baseball writer?
Well, I think, David, the traditional baseball statistics have become so skewed over the years. They've lost a lot of their meaning. I mean, it's nice that they've recognized that Josh Gibson and those guys were Major League Baseball players. And, you look at Babe Ruth, he didn't play against black players. Josh Gibson didn't play against white players. So, you just go through all the history of baseball. But once we had the steroid era and Barry Bonds did his thing and Alex Rodriguez did his thing, it's almost impossible anymore to sit here and look at, pure statistics and just say, well, he was better than him. Josh Gibson's here. It's very skewed.
Do you think now that this may be because of the steroid era and all that will help in deciphering, against people like to compare eras, but like you just said, right, because there's so many different factors throughout just our American history of baseball that it's not really apples to apples comparing eras, and it never will be even into the future post-steroid era.
No, I mean, it's just like, football. You look at, everybody in Texas loves Doak Walker and Earl Campbell, and they just played in different eras, and they're both great players, but they just played in far different eras. And it's just, it's fun to look at baseball statistics, and it's fun to look at people's accomplishments, and and talk about it. And people talk about Josh Gibson. It's almost a mythical figure, guys, because not that many people saw him play, and there's a lot of BS out there about, well, Josh Gibson hit 500-foot home runs and hit this ball, but that same thing. People used to say that thing about Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth back before we had video and computers and all that stuff. So, I mean, like I said, statistics are fun to talk about, but as far as determining who was the best of the best, that's all subjective and fun to talk about.
We had Chuck Cooperstein on yesterday, mainly about the Mavericks, the playoffs, et cetera, but he mentioned that even today that, the AFL, the 9 years of the AFL, whatever it was, that morphed into the NFL. They all are together. But in basketball, the NBA, they have the ABA records, but they're not the same. And so my question is, why is it taking so long? Was it really just to get what are specific, almost needle in a haystack stats from all those years the Negro Leagues played?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the ABA and the NBA, they didn't have steroids. Baseball had steroids. That's a tough thing for baseball to deal with, because we all know Barry Bonds eclipsed Hank Aaron and eclipsed Babe Ruth and all of that. And that's, you look at basketball, you can talk about Julius Erving in the ABA and
Sure.
Oscar Robertson and all that stuff. But, baseball statistics have the black mark of steroids. And that makes it even more tough to try to figure out who belongs where.
What do you think about the expansion of maybe Jackie Robinson Day, or do you think they'll keep it the same?
I like having a day for Jackie Robinson. One thing that was interesting is, the Puerto Ricans want a day for Roberto Clemente. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that they honor him with the ultimate award, the Roberto Clemente Award. So there's different ways to honoring different players. You don't have to have a day for everybody. You don't have to retire everybody's jersey. And, I think it's very important that they honor Jackie Robinson with Jackie Robinson Day. I think it's a great day in baseball. Everybody wearing number 42 and really reminding us all who Jackie Robinson was. I just like having a Jackie Robinson Day.
TR, the the records of baseball, even with that steroid era, with Bonds and Sosa, McGuire, et cetera, just popping home runs out like they were maybe popping pills or whatever. Is there anything still better than the baseball records among all the other sports?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I love baseball statistics. You know, another thing is, you know, when you bring that up, you know, we talk about Jackie Robinson, and I think of Ted Williams. He missed 5 years because of the war, because of World War II and the Korean War. Jackie Robinson he made his debut, I think he was like 27 years old when he was a rookie. Willie Mays missed 2 years in 52 and 53 while he was in the military. And, you know, yeah, baseball statistics are great. But, you know, the other thing that's kind of skewed them now, guys, is that they have all these different metrics, I guess, that they just keep coming up with new metrics to, like, compare Willie Mays to this guy to that guy. And, you know, it's kind of confusing. And it's kind of, I think baseball statistics, they stand out for what they are, and you enjoy them, and it's cool that this guy hit 300 or this guy hit 50 home runs or 60 home runs, or like in football, a guy rushed for 1,000 yards, or he averaged 30 points in basketball. I mean, they are what they are, but to sit there and say that Oscar Robertson is better or worse than Michael Jordan, or Doak Walker is better or worse than Earl Campbell, I mean, there's just no way of comparing it. You just have to enjoy the statistics for what they are.
Isn't that what the great arguments are about sports fans, though? Is being able to discuss it. That's kind of the fun part of it.
Yeah, it was great when we're sitting there at the old 776 lounge in the end zone down there in spring training, and we're throwing all these arguments out late at night. And yeah, it's fun to be able to throw this out there, and that's why we love sports. I mean, there's so much information out there that you can bring up and use to compare and say, well, Jackie Robinson did this, and this, and Joe Morgan did this, and that, and it's great fun. I mean, yes, it enriches our sports.
TR, I do want to ask you one current baseball question before we let you go. There is, an epidemic of pitchers getting hurt right now, and the emphasis on strikeouts and velocity that wasn't really there in past years of baseball is, kind of blamed for all this. How would you fix the pitching issues that they're having now? Do you think you'll see rules about how long guys have to pitch or different things like that to try to control this?
There's a lot of different things that, they've talked about this, they talked about that the pitch clock is really making it tough for pitchers to rebound from pitch to pitch. I think that's kind of interesting. I still think that there needs to be more development in pitchers. I think pitchers are rushed to the big leagues before they're ready. I think a lot of, they talk about 22, 23, 24 before your arm is really mature and really ready to take on the load. Everybody's different. I don't think there's a quick fix. I know if you go through the baseball record book and you say, you look at go through the Rangers history and that guy Jim Bibby and Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt was always hurt, and David Clyde, he got hurt. He was a great pitcher who got hurt, and there's a lot of different reasons why. And I don't know if there's one. I don't know if there's one answer. If there was, somebody would have figured it out a long time ago.
TR, Jim Bibby, 19-19, I think. 1974, whatever it was, the year that Ferguson Jenkins was 25-12. Last thing for you. I know you're enjoying retirement. Do you miss the game, or do you still get just enough of it when you get your juices flowing?
Well, there's a lot of things I don't miss. I love the pitch clock. I hate to hear people are talking about it contributing to injuries. I don't like that part. I love the fast pace right now. There's some things I don't like, but I think right now baseball's in a good spot, and I think the game is becoming more enjoyable. I think they've cured the 3.5 hour games that I think were just killing the sport. They had to get this thing moved along. That was the biggest thing. You know, if I did grade the commissioner Rob Manfred, the number one thing in his favor was he finally got this cancer of 3.5 hour, 4 hour games. It was killing the sport. It was just absolutely killing the sport.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you so much. It's always great to hear your voice. One of the best ever when it comes to any sport. Writing for it, T.R. Sullivan, MajorLeagueBaseball.com, at the end of his career, and a Hall of Fame writer. When we come back,